Over time, I sort of realized that getting more gear isn't really the answer, but it's getting the right gear, learning how to use it properly, and then just getting on with making videos. That's the answer. Now, I've actually reached a point where I'm pretty happy with my YouTube setup, and aside from the occasional temptation to buy a new lens or a new microphone or so, which I know is just because I'm bored, yeah, I don't really think about it all that much. I know that all the gear that I have right now is enough for me to create the best content that I can think of creating. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you my carefully curated YouTube setup for 2024. Let's get into it. The heart of the setup, of course, is my camera. When I was in New York in 2021, I had the opportunity to meet up with Brett Conti, who is a YouTuber with close to 1 million subscribers. He was nice enough to give me YouTube advice, and one thing that he told me really stuck with me, and that is, if you want to work with really high quality brands, production quality really matters. Because good brands are often looking for high production quality in whoever they work with. And that was when I decided to upgrade to a full frame camera. So the camera that I use at the moment is the Sony a7 IV, and that is actually the camera that I'm filming with right now as well. I bought it a year and a half ago, and I actually think it's the perfect camera for someone that wants to make YouTube videos but also likes to do photography. Because while it's a really good video camera, it's also an excellent photo camera. Firstly, it's full frame. So that just means that the sensor is just larger. That means it lets in more light. It has more background separation, so the background's just a little bit more blurry. And overall, it's just higher quality. I used to use a crop sensor camera, the Sony a6300, for more than 4 years before I upgraded to this one. I used that camera to earn the money that I used to purchase this camera. Secondly, it shoots in 4K, which actually was one of the main reasons why I decided to upgrade my camera. With all that extra resolution, you can also repurpose your content for short form videos and vertical videos. And also, I just feel like 4K videos for me as a viewer are just a lot more enjoyable to watch. So as a creator, I wanted to give that to my audience as well. Finally, the camera's just got a lot of these pro features which are just really useful for me. For example, it's got 2 SD card slots as opposed to just one found in cheaper cameras. I use one for photos and one just for videos. The camera's also got a headphone jack, which I was really missing in my previous camera because that allows me to put on a pair of headphones and really monitor the audio, especially when I'm shooting interviews. It's also got an articulating touchscreen, and that's 2 things. Articulating means that it's just really useful because I can actually watch the screen over here while filming myself like this. And the fact that it's a touchscreen is helpful because it allows me to just touch to focus wherever I want, which is way faster when I want to manually focus than turning the lens like that. Overall, to me, I think it's really the perfect camera. I wouldn't recommend you to start on YouTube with a camera like this unless you already know exactly what you're doing and why you need one, because it's just really expensive. But again, it's just a great level up from a starter camera. Alright, next let's talk about the lenses that I use with my camera. I mainly use 2 lenses for YouTube. The first one is a Sigma 24-70 f2.8 and the second one is a Sigma 16-28 f2.8. The 24-70 is an excellent lens. It's got all the focal lengths that I generally would want to use. It's one of Sigma's Art series lenses, and I actually read somewhere that it's basically equivalent to a Sony G Master lens, which is more than double its price. It's a really pricey lens for sure, but I think the quality and the flexibility that it gives me and just the amount that I use it is totally worth it. The Sigma 16-28 is a contemporary series lens. It was a little bit less expensive than the 24-70, but I really think that for a full frame wide angle option for Sony, it's really one of the best lenses that you can get at that price. I also can't really complete the camera section without mentioning my phone. I use an iPhone 15 Pro Max and I use the phone for all of my short form content. I also use it for YouTube videos for when I just want a camera when I'm out and about in the city or even when I'm traveling. It's just so much easier when I have this phone in my pocket. I can take it out and film really quickly without having to set up my camera and my lens and all of that. And the camera quality on the iPhone 15 Pro is just is excellent. The fact that it has 3 different lenses, including a 5x telephoto, it just makes it really flexible. I have an ultra wide, I have a normal camera, and I have a zoom. And I just feel like I can use it for whatever kind of shot that I want outside. So yeah, it's just a great phone to have if you're a content creator. Next, let's talk about lighting. For the longest time, I didn't really even think that lighting was all that important. Honestly, after I got good lights, I sort of realized that while a camera contributes to the image, I think it's really the lighting that makes the image. And you can just see that for yourself. So this is what my really expensive camera with bad lighting looks like. And this is what my iPhone with good lighting looks like. I think I would actually prefer the shot with the iPhone because the lighting is just so much better. And that's why I first got this Neewer LED light, because it's really small. This light is fine. It's fine as, even though I bought it as a primary light, it didn't really do a good job as that. It's just not that powerful enough as a main light unless I keep it really close to my face, which then just like has a lot of weird reflections and it just looks really harsh. I wanted something better, but I just didn't feel like buying one of those big heavy cob lights. Then a few months ago, Zhayun, the sponsor of today's video, reached out and offered to send me the Molus X100 LED light. When I first saw pictures of it, it actually felt too good to be true. Other 100-watt lights are just so much bigger than this, but this one is small. It's a bright 100-watt light which can change color temperature, change brightness, and it's the size of an iPhone. That sounds absolutely crazy, especially when, as I said, other 100-watt lights are just way bigger for the same level of light output. So I was a bit skeptical, but after using it, I can confidently say this is the perfect light for me. Firstly, it's small and lightweight, as you can see. This is really great because it's very easy to set up and very easy for me to put away when I'm done using it, because as much as I would like to have my lights out all the time, I just can't afford to do that with a small apartment. Secondly, it's really flexible. I can change the color temperature to be warmer or cooler depending on the time of the day. I mostly run it with a power adapter, but I really like that it comes with a grip battery which actually offers up to 30 minutes of runtime at the brightest setting of 100 watts. So that means I can use it outdoors easily, which makes even more sense because it's so small and easy to pack in my bag. Also, the combo pack also contains a Bowens mount, which means I can attach any softbox, any standard Bowens mount softbox onto it. Right now, for example, I'm using this light with a 65cm lantern softbox, which creates this really nice soft look on my face, which I really like. The Molus X100 comes in at 409 euros in Europe or $350 in the US for the combo pack, which I highly recommend because it contains the Bowens mount, the grip battery, and a carrying case. You can find a link to this light in the description below. Thanks a lot to Zhayun for sponsoring this part of the video. Though honestly, if I would have used this light before, I would have recommended it to you guys anyway. I think it's a great product and it's a really useful addition to my YouTube setup. Next, let's talk about microphones. They actually say that audio quality is way more important for your videos than video quality, because people will sit through bad video quality, but they're not gonna sit through bad audio quality. That's why I use an external mic instead of relying on my camera's internal mic. The mic that I use is a DJI mic, and that's actually this one. This is a wireless mic system which has two transmitters. This thing is a transmitter, and it has a receiver that connects to my camera on top. And this means that I have two microphones that I can use at the same time. This is really useful when I'm shooting an interview, so that way I can just put one mic on each person and I don't really have to think about anything else. So both the transmitters and the receiver go into this carrying case, which also charges all three of them at the same time. And that way I never really have to worry about charging the mic before I use it every single time. The case itself charges with USB-C, which again I really love because I can use all of my other chargers for it. And the battery on the case itself is so big that I only have to charge it once in a long while. What I also really like about it is that it's quite flexible. The transmitter has connectors for Lightning as well as USB-C, so I can also connect it to my iPhone. If you're in the market for a wireless mic for YouTube or for anything else, I could not recommend this one enough. I feel like you can't go wrong with it. And there's a reason why basically every single YouTuber that I've seen using a wireless mic uses this one. Next, let's talk about the second heart of this entire setup, and that's my MacBook. The Mac that I use is a 16-inch M1 Max MacBook Pro. I've configured it with 32 GB of RAM and 1 TB of SSD space, so I never run out of memory and never run out of storage space for my videos. Even though it's a laptop from 2021, it's 3 years old, it works perfectly fine, it's buttery smooth. Honestly, it's never held me back even once. It takes all the 4K clips from my iPhone, from my Sony camera, and it doesn't stutter even once. I've literally never had this laptop slow down on me ever. And even the fans almost never turn on. Even when I'm rendering long videos in 4K from Premiere Pro, the fans just don't turn on, and that's insane. It's fast, it's silent, it's smooth, and it's really expensive, but it's totally worth it. The 2021 model is actually more than enough for most people, especially if you get the M1 Max model. So if you can get it second hand for a really good price, I would highly recommend it even today. In terms of software, I use Premiere Pro to edit all of my videos. I also use CapCut when I'm editing on my iPhone, so all of my short form videos I actually use CapCut to edit. If you want to see more videos on my channel, I would really recommend this one, which is about what I carry every day in my backpack in 2024. So I'll see you guys in that video.